Hello there, I'm Jeff Moore. I'm one of the shop captains here in the TinkerMill Woodshop. Today I'm going to go through the operation of the A341 joiner planer machine. This is a combination machine, which means it'll do both jointing, face planing, and thickness planing all with one machine. So it's three functions: face planing, edge jointing, and thickness planing. Generally, when you get lumber, you're going to have to run one edge straight, one edge, and then you square it up, and then you run it through the table saw to get a parallel piece of lumber. This is particularly useful if you're making a glue up of several pieces of wood to make a tabletop, for example. So we're going to do the face planing first. When you come in here to use the machine, you could find it in this condition. The fence pushed all the way forward and locked in place. This bridge guard down against the table, and this insert, this bridge guard insert, covering the remainder of the cutting head. If you pull this bridge guard out, you're going to see part of the cutter head is exposed. We don't want to leave it in that condition. It will start up, and it would be leave the cutter head exposed. So I called this the bridge guard. This is the main difference in an American machine and a European machine. This covers the cutter head when you're running material across the through the face planing operation. It's a bridge guard. It's a little bit different. American machines use what you would generally refer to as a pork chop, which swings out of the way. But on a 16-inch machine, you can imagine that pork chop swinging out here. It's going to be all the way out here in your way. So this is a more practical way to do it. The Europeans have been doing it this way for many, many years, and it's safe, and just have to get used to it. It's a little bit different. So to do a face planing operation, we used this tube before. First thing you're going to do is move the machine away from the wall where you're going to find it. It's on the machine's about 800 pounds, and it's on this mobile base. And you lock it on, you attach it to the floor with these 4 orange tabs. That'll put the machine on the floor. It's not going anywhere. Open the dust collection port. Take the hose. This is a 5-inch hose to handle the volume of chips this machine produces. So move the fence back to a wide enough position. There's a knob on the back. It covers the cutter head. It's not being used. And the knob on this aluminum extrusion here. That's where it starts to get different. The bridge guard needs to be adjusted down to where the material will go under it. Use this knob here and adjust it down. That bridge guard is not wide enough, so we're going to slide it out. There's a variety of widths. This is the factory supplied. You can see it sticks out quite a ways. So I went ahead and made some shorter ones. There's 3, Actually, there's 4 different lengths if you count the factory. So you can accommodate different widths of work. Adjust it to about what's 1/8 of an inch of the fence, and then make sure it's secure. This is the lever that controls the depth of cut. 0 to 4 millimeters maximum. That's a lot of material to take off, but if you have, you know, a lot, I mean, it's useful if you have a bit of enough material to take off. I'm going to set it somewhere around 1 millimeter. And first thing to do would be to badge in. This is Tinker access controlled. You will need your key fob to get in to log in. Okay. Thing to remember about the bridge guard and running your material through is you don't want to put your hand in this area here. This is something that you will see a lot of people on YouTube do this, but I would recommend not doing it that way. I recommend using push blocks. This is going to be the recommended method here at TinkerMill. And this is what I'll demonstrate today. To take the first pass, turn on dust collection. Press and hold the green button, make sure everything's out of the way. Hold it down until it comes up to full speed. And then this is pretty much like a regular jointer, or the planer that you may have used before. So we're going to face plane here. The blocks are holding down the material to the table. You leapfrog 1 block over the bridge guard. Down, hold it down to the table. Leapfrog over the guard. Now you're putting pressure on the outfeed table. Cuts really nice and smooth. Leapfrog over, hold it down to the table. Always have one hand holding down the lumber. All right. Now we have one flat face. Now you would want to make a square edge, make it square to this face. So we'd run the edge the face you just produced against the fence, and then it'll make this. It'll cut this edge straight and square to the table. The table is adjustable. There's a lever back here that goes go up to 45 degrees. There's some special instructions for bevel cuts and where to set the bridge guard. So there's a supplemental manual that I've put together that has some of the factory instructions on it. So you want to make sure it's at 90. I've adjusted the machine to a positive stop at 90. Everything's tight. Everything's square. We're ready to adjust the machine. So in this case, we're going to take the bridge guard down to the tabletop, as low as it goes, and then move it out far enough to get your material through. So make sure you have room to get through here, and you have the depth adjusted where you want it. The bridge guard's down to the table, and the fence is locked in place and set at 90 degrees. So I'm going to use an operator aid here to keep my hands away from the cutter. Hold it against the fence and start to feed through. Hold it against the fence and down to the table. We'll take off 4 millimeters. So that's what 4 millimeters looks like. It's a lot. So like most woodworking equipment, this machine can produce kickback in either configuration, whether it's the surface planer or the thickness planer. So with that in mind, always feed the material on the surface planing from the right to left. Never, ever feed it through this way. This will grab the material and throw it out. So that covers face planing and thickness and jointing. Face planing and jointing. Now to reconfigure the machine for thickness planing, I'm going to change out the guards. Bring the fence up to the storage location that the machine started out in, as far forward as it will go. Make sure you lock it down, and then insert the bridge guard to prevent, so that this isn't sticking out quite so far. Transform this machine over to the thickness planing. You need to release these two levers. This one turns counterclockwise to release, and you see it pops out. This one turns clockwise to release, and you see it pops out. Now you can spin them down to make convenient handles to lift the table. Don't lift the table by these red guards. Lift the table by these handles. So, raises right up. There's a safety catch here to keep the table from falling back down. And as you can see now, the cutter head's exposed. So in order to convert it to we're going to take the hose off, set it over here. The machine won't run until you turn the hood over the top of the cutter head. And attach the dust collection hose. Make sure this hook is not pointing straight down or it'll interfere with the path of the lumber. So my material measured 1.12. This right now is 2.74. So I'm going to take this up to 1.16. And then obviously you're going to want to cut a little more. So I'm going to go to 1.12. Lock the table in place. Lift this lever, and it'll spring in and engage the feed rolls. The feed rolls pull the material through as you enter the machine. When you're done with your planing operations for the day, we're doing thickness planing here. When you're done thickness planing, disengage the rollers, pulling back here and then letting it drop down onto the metal housing that'll latch it in place. And you'll have to lower this down to about between 7 and 8 inches. So that it will allow the dust collection hood to swing back. And once you have it down there, put the machine away. .9155. Probably don't need to be that precise. So you're going to unlock the table. Well, the table's unlocked, and then turn the crank, the hand wheel. What is it was 0.9125. So we'll go to 0.9. We'll go 875. There's a lever on the left side that engages the feed rollers. Lift up on it, there's a chart on there, lift up, and it drops in and engages the feed rollers. There's a handle on the right that locks the table in place to prevent snipe. So next thing you do is 0.8780. Pretty darn close. All right. So we're done with this. We're going to put it away now. Take the hose off the machine. And close the dust collection port. And you can see that now the planer table is interfering with the hood. So you have to lower the table down to about between 7 and 8 inches. And then the lever on the left, you pull it out and let it drop down onto the metal housing to lock it in place. That disengages the feed rollers. I'm going to dust out a little bit. And when you're done, make sure you clean up. I'll probably mention it again. Now that the table's lowered, you're going to be able to turn the hood over. And to lower the table, lift up on the lock. There's like a little bevel on it. It'll let it disengage. Hold on to the handles. Rotate them straight up. This one you push in and rotate to the clockwise. This one you push in and rotate counterclockwise. We're putting the machine away. So lift the tabs. Get it back on the wheels. Pushing on the cast iron. Goes approximately in line with the Tinker Access mode. And then clean up. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And I look forward to spending some time on the one-on-one to get you checked off so you can have access to this machine. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.